Hello, I'm Carrie, and this is Beyond the Womb Tarot, where I channel messages that help you continue to grow beyond the womb or expand your mind outside of your current comfort zone to enable you to become your highest self. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing. Thank you for watching. I love your comments. Today, I wanted to get a reading on what's going on, what should we be looking at this week. What types of energies can we take advantage of this week? What do we need to know this week? Just like a basic general reading. So it's still Mercury retrograde. And there's an eclipse coming up, a solar eclipse coming up on the 29th. And I'm like, solar? We just had a lunar eclipse. Now we got a solar eclipse. But if you're in North America, I don't think we're going to be able to see it. Anyway, there's things happening. I don't know how about you guys, but my Mercury has definitely been retrograding. There's been some really cute, funny stuff, and then there's been some like, whoa, that's crazy kind of stuff. But definitely, it's just been exciting. I don't know. I like to see energy at work. It excites me. It makes me like, I don't know. It's just sometimes helps you come outside of yourself and really see like there's some stuff going on out there. I cannot pretend like it doesn't happen. I can't cover my eyes anymore. I know the truth. I can see the truth, and I just like to sit back and watch it all unfold and be like, I'm a part of this. I'm a piece of all of this huge puzzle that's happening right now. And I think that perfectly segues into this reading, because this is I'm like, well, okay, so we're doing a reading today. This is a very interesting reading that I have for you today, and I'm very excited to be able to channel messages like this. Let's get started. Let's start here. I am working with this tarot, the Modern Witch Tarot deck. I haven't used this one in a while, but I don't know. I was just like, I need to switch it up. I want to use something different today. And so this is what I chose. I used to use this deck all the time. I loved it. I mean, I still love it, but there's some other ones that I've been more interested in lately. So, if we get started with this reading, again, it's just like a general overall reading, and it's kind of like what's coming up type energy. But I want to start here with the Moon and the Ace of Wands. When I looked at that, I was like, okay, what's going on here? And I got that poem that Nicki Minaj says at the beginning of what is that? What's that song? Hold on, I gotta find it. All right, this is from Kanye West's album. And this song is Dark Fantasy. She says, you might think you've peeped the scene. You haven't. The real one's far too mean. The watered down one, the one you know, was made up centuries ago. They made it sound all whack and corny. Yes, it's awful, blasted, boring. Twisted fictions, sick addiction. Will gather round, children. Zip it, listen. I remember the first time I heard that poem, I got chicken skin because I was like, what is she talking about? What do you mean? It was made up centuries ago. What do you mean? We might think we've peeped the scene. And it was like, whoa, this is so interesting. And this is the type of energy that I'm getting from this reading. When I see the Moon and the Ace of Wands, especially in this position, it's like there's some unknown things that you have been inspired to discover. Because it's in a past position, though, it's like you've already had this inspiration happen to you, but it could have been something that you were not like fully aware of. I remember like when I first started my spiritual journey, I wasn't aware that was what was happening for me. I just knew that there was some stuff I didn't know and I didn't appreciate it. I remember I was like at work and I was talking about how something was so unfair. I'm like, so unfair, they didn't choose me. They don't think I'm good enough. Like what? What's wrong with me? Why didn't I get chosen? And to see the people I was talking to, like their faces were like, I think they made the right decision. And I was like, what? What do you guys know that I don't know? Like, what is it about myself that I don't know that you guys are like agreeing with this other person when I'm sitting here like, oh, it's so unfair. And they're like, no, actually. And so it made me mad, first of all. And then it made me curious because I was like, I cannot be out here looking crazy. I can't be out here not knowing stuff about myself that other people know. And then it made me go investigate. And I feel like this is the energy that you have been in yourself It might not be the start of your spiritual journey. It can literally be just like what Nicki Minaj was talking about, like the world and how the world works. It could be like politics. It can be, what do we call those things? Like if we're talking about energy and how energy balances, you could really like just be understanding like how things work, how the world works. You could be understanding supply and demand. You can be understanding like physics. You know, like when something goes up, something goes down. Is that physics? I don't know. But like to me, it's like these basic principles that we take for granted that we don't really look into, but you've looked into them and you're like, oh shoot, well, this thing, this rule, this way of being is here. How in the world can we be different? How can we, chart our own path as this stuff is already like predetermined and predestined? What is going on? Like I kind of feel you with that same feeling like I was talking about me being angry because what y'all know that I don't know, and why aren't you telling me? I feel like that's that type of same energy. It's like, okay, well, these things are here, so how am I supposed to move in this energy? What am I supposed to do? How can I figure this out? There's things that I want to do. I don't want to have to do what I'm told. I don't want to have to fall in line. I see where the line is, but I don't want to be on that line. Help me find another way. Like I really feel this energy of you collective wanting better, wanting different. Like you saw some stuff and you were like, oh, absolutely not. You couldn't even go on like on a spiritual journey or something like that, but something that really awakened you to how things work, like the behind the scenes type stuff, the stuff that you don't really pay attention to if you don't want to know. Like what they say, ignorance is bliss. You're like, I don't care about this until you finally do. What does Pharrell say in the beginning of his song? Which I know this is not his words, but it's just, I'm thinking of this song because I think in songs a lot, where he says, the truth will set you free, but first it's going to piss you off. Is that Lemon? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, Pharrell says that in the beginning of his song, and that's the type of energy I'm feeling right now. It's like you found something out, it kind of sparked you to go on this, like, deep introspective trip, journey, and now you're here. High Priestess, 3 of Pentacles. So this journey is unique to every single person because it's you basically figuring out and following your own intuition to figure out what it is that you need to know and learn. Like I see this with this High Priestess here. I see you being somebody who's like, okay, what do I need to learn so that I can understand, like, so I can go on the next part of the path. And I remember when that happened to me, when I was like, there's so many things that I don't know about myself that, these people obviously do know, but they're not going to share them with me because I don't really feel like they have my best interest at heart. It just made me be so introspective and be like, okay, how can I start on this journey of self-improvement? And at the time I was working in an office where I needed to do presentations in front of people. So I started going to Toastmasters. I started getting my public speaking up. I was like, okay, so maybe I'm not good at presentations. Maybe that's why, maybe that's why they don't feel that I can have this position or do this position or whatever. And that's where I started. And then I learned a lot about myself. Like, I'm terrified of public speaking, but if I have a task to do, if you give me a speech that I need to write and present, I'm going to get up there and do it. I might mess up and stutter the first time, but in the Toastmasters that I went to, you practice over and over again. You'll give your speech once, 5 times you give it. So the first time might be horrible, but the second time, I'm going to improve. And next, I'm going to improve again. You know what I mean? So it helped me learn so many things about myself. Like, yeah, you may count me out right now, but just wait, I'm going to learn. And I feel like that's that same energy that's going on in this 3 of Pentacles. It's not you, I won't even say it's like you are being taught by others, but you are the one who is writing your own curriculum. You are deciding what it is that you need to learn, and you're going to go figure out where you can learn that stuff. Like, who's going to teach me this? Where am I going to learn that? Because we're not about to be out here ignorant. And I feel like the High Priestess is just your intuition telling you, like, oh, this is a space that I need to explore. I need to learn that over here. If we're talking about physics, like, starting back at the beginning, like, okay, what is it? I'm sure you may have taken physics in school. And if you've taken it, you have, like, a basic understanding. But it's like, okay, but do I really understand it all? Let me, like, go back and look at that 101 book, that textbook, and see, okay, what is it that I really don't quite get? All right, so I get these concepts, but do I understand them when it comes to, like, the application of them, or just like, do I just understand the math? Do I understand the application? So let me go ahead and figure out how I can like apply this stuff on my own without having to have somebody like show me how to do it. Let me see, can I read it from the book and then apply it on my own? No, I don't know how to do that. Oh, let me get a teacher then. Let me figure out what it is that I need to understand. Like, I really feel like this type of energy, if you like, you just want to, I heard, get it on your own. I don't even know if you want to get it on your own, but you're not going to rely on somebody else to tell you what's right or not. Just like that energy, I was feeling like these people know something about me, but they don't have my best interest at heart, so they're not going to tell me, what it is that I don't see. I feel like with you, it's like, no, I need to go and make sure that I'm the one in control of this so that I can handle, like I can make sure I'm doing the correct thing, I'm walking on the right path, that I understand what's going on. I can't rely on these other people to tell me the truth. I need to go and not only understand the concept, but like make sure that I understand the concepts building up to that concept. Even if we're talking about politics, you can go back to school and learn, or you can go sit in some, what do you call them things? Debates, like go to some town hall meetings, really try to understand what is the underlying information that I am missing. Like, what don't I understand? What don't I understand about this? I feel like that's what you're asking, and you're going to get that information like straight from the source. You're not waiting for somebody to tell you or teach you or show you. You're getting it straight from the source, and you're getting it from reliable sources. And that's what I see here in the Three of Pentacles. This is a teacher. This is somebody who's been there, done that, showing you how to do it. Next, we have the Six of Swords and the Chariot. You've awakened, you had this impetus to wake up, go and really seek the truth. You started seeking the truth, and that truth has changed you. It changed you so much so that your old way of being, your old life, even your old way of thinking, which I think I resonate with when it comes to Six of Swords, your old way of thinking is not good anymore. You had to switch it up, change it up. It actually makes me think of the Four Agreements. I have that deck sitting right here. But in the book, he talks about if you want to, he talks about different ways to break agreements and different ways to like change your life. And the easiest way to break an agreement or to change your life or to believe something differently is to basically take, if you have a chair, you have to like cut off all the legs of the chair so that there's nothing else for that false belief to stand on. And I think you've cut the legs off of the chair so that the chair no longer is useful. You have to go and find a chair that is going to work for you. I hope that analogy makes sense. Read the book. I can't remember exactly how he put it, but if these are four beliefs, because there's four legs on the chair that you cut off, like maybe the first belief is, oh, I'm not smart enough to do this. The second belief that you cut off because you've learned that, oh, I actually can do this. The second belief that you cut off is like, I don't have the resources. And then you figure out, oh, I do. And the third thing that you cut off, like, et cetera, et cetera. You just figure out that this whole belief system that I believed in is no longer true. Now that you've understood that and figured that out, then you got to move on. Like this, you got to go somewhere else. It's difficult to stay. It's like you can't stop, or what is it that they used to say? You can't unknow what you know. It's like you know too much now. If you were like to continue to hang out with the same people or to do the same things that you used to do when you were ignorant, why go and collect all this information? I just think it would be very difficult for you to stay in that same place and position that you were in when you were ignorant. Like, you would just kind of be looking at it and feeling that it was all wrong. That's what I felt too when I went and learned more about myself and understood more about myself. It was like with the quickness, I had to get up out of there. I had to get up out of that current situation that I was in, because I'm like, ew, no. I could do way better than this. Why am I here? Why am I around you people who I know don't have my best interests at heart, who would let me sit there and say, oh, I can't believe that this happened, knowing good and well that I was pretty ignorant in that moment. I didn't have the skills necessary and needed, but I clearly thought I did. I was able to see that this position was not the best for me. This location wasn't the best for me. The people I was around wasn't the best for me. Like, my lifestyle, everything was not the best for me. And that's the moving on energy I get here. And then we see Eight of Cups, Four of Cups. It's hard sometimes moving on, because it's not like the first time you move on, it's like, oh, this new place, it's it, boom, it's the right spot. Maybe it is the right spot, but maybe you still have those old habits you had here. You still have that old mindset. You still think in the same way. You still believe the same. Like, you haven't quite migrated all of the new parts of you to this new place. So even though you moved on, it ain't working out. We got the cups, the 8 of Cups. This is about moving on. Paired with the 4 of Cups, to me, it's just like trying and taking opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, and it's just not working out. It's not giving you what you want, like that energy of frustration, wanting more but not getting it. Like, oh man, what did I do all this for if I'm just supposed to end up in the same, like, over it type energy? Like, what did I do this for? Why are we here? Why did we come this whole journey? Why do we, alienate and separate ourselves from these people? Like, what's going on? Like, I really feel that kind of energy, and I think that can easily happen when you're like starting over new, because there's all these pieces that have to start over new. One thing about me is I learned how complex I was when I started over and began again. I didn't realize what I needed. Like, I need these things to be happy, or I need these types of people in my life to be happy. Like, I had to discover what it is that I needed. And it was kind of like, have you ever been on an elimination diet? Where you basically don't eat hardly anything, and then you start adding things back to your diet? Or is it the other way around? You eat everything, you start taking things away. I don't know. Either way, both of those things are difficult. But it's kind of like you figuring out and discovering, okay, what can I eat? What is good for me to eat? What's causing me stomach ache? What's causing me have to go to the bathroom in a disgusting way? What's causing me to like get bloated? That kind of thing. This is also what you were discovering here in this 8 of Cups energy. And because this is kind of in the future, I feel like maybe this is what's going on right now. This is what is the question I was asking is, what's important for us to know? Maybe this is the thing that's important for us to know. It's like this is a process. There's a bunch of stuff that's happening. There's a bunch of stuff we need to learn to figure out. Even though we've learned some things initially, like it's process. I'm seeing dominoes falling over. How those artists make those super cool murals and stuff by dominoes, and then they knock them. Is it dominoes? I think it is. Then they knock them over, and the dominoes show a picture. But it takes a long time for the first domino to fall to the last domino falling. It takes time. And you started it over here, but it's still a process that must continue until you get here. With the Hermit and the Sun, first of all, I want to say there's a lot of major arcana cards here. There's 5 out of the 10 cards I have. The Hermit and the Sun, it's fun. It's fun, but it's scary. The Hermit, I feel like I'm in my light. Yes, let's let the sun have its light. The Hermit, especially on this card, when you think of the Hermit, this is Virgo energy. They're very isolated. They're very much like in their own energy. I gotta say, I love Hermit energy. I love when I'm in Hermit energy because I love being in my own energy. No interferences, no outside anything. It's just like I am relying on me and my intuition. I'm relying on my own personal knowledge, not just the things that I know, like to be like the book knowledge that I have, but my like experiences too. I'm putting all those together and I'm relying on those. I'm not asking nobody no questions, and I am just, kind of basking in that. I'm like becoming wise just by observing my own thoughts and looking at my own history. Like, love that energy. But not everybody does. And it's kind of like that isolating energy of like, I know a whole bunch, I understand a whole bunch, but like, I don't got nobody to share it with. I don't have people who think the same way as me around me at this time. Like, this type of energy could bring about some lonely feelings. But because we have it being clarified by the sun, to me, this is like exactly where you're supposed to be. It's like you went on that whole journey just so you could get here in this Hermit energy. So that number 1, you can rely on yourself and the things you know. And number 2, nobody can like knock you off of that. Like, the Hermit is, I say an expert at the knowledge that they know. I just thought about The Terminator. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love The Terminator. But Terminator and Terminator 2, I'm going to kind of talk about these both together. Sarah Connor was told that her son is going to be this amazing, great, person. He's going to save the world, basically. She's like this young girl. She doesn't know, she doesn't know all the things that she needs to teach her son in order for him to like save the world or whatever. All she knows is she done saw this robot kill this man. Like all she knows is what she's seen and what she knows. Like that's all she knows. And she's one of the only people in the world who knows this thing, right? And the Terminator 2, they have her in an insane asylum because of her beliefs, because of what she said, right? She's like, oh, these people are going to come and they're going to end the world and we need to do this and this and that. And they're like, okay, this lady's crazy. So they put her in an insane asylum. Even in there, she was still like honing up on her skills and beliefs. And by the time she gets there, she has already had her son and she's like taught him everything that he needed to know by her learning what she needed to know to teach him about how to survive in a post-apocalyptic world. Like, this lady had to have a lot of faith to like truly, truly, truly not only, have this son and feel like she's gonna have to sacrifice him to save the world, but she had to like learn all of these hardcore things like how to make a bomb, all that kind of stuff, in order to help him. And then she's put in this insane asylum where she could easily give up and not, like she can like just go within and not like just give up on her mission fully, because look, they've taken her autonomy away from her. But she doesn't. She still keeps the faith in there. She tells the psychiatrist, I'm assuming, like she tells him like, bro, something's about to go down. You need to let me go. He does it. Something goes down. She is ready because she is faithful. And boom, she gets out and, etc., etc. I'm saying all that to say I kind of feel like this type of energy. You're a Sarah Connor. You've been like, something that not everybody around you knows. And it's difficult because it would be easy for you to be like, well, since they don't know, then why do I even know? Why am I even bothering? But it's like at some point, like at a moment in time, you and your knowledge is going to save the world. It sounds very dramatic. And I don't really believe in one person being like the savior of all. But I do believe in multiple people coming together and everybody having their own particular thing, own particular mission. And you showing up for yourself is saving the world because it's saving your world. And that's the type of energy that I'm feeling right now, right here. It's like, if we're here in this Six of Swords chariot energy, we're in the middle of all this. It's like we are about to make some major changes, some major, like moving on from something. Like there's going to be a major shift, basically. And you might be like, why am I doing this? Is this even worth it? Like, what is the end goal? What's the end game? Why am I being called to do this when I'm comfortable where I am? I mean, maybe I'm uncomfortable, but like I can survive. I've been here. But I just kind of feel like if there's any doubt for you, there's always going to be a reason at the end. You might not see it. Yes, you might be isolated. Yes, you might be the only one who believes as you do or who understands as you do. But this is going to be something that you're so convicted and so, like, it's so clear in your mind that even if they take your autonomy away, you're going to know, you're going to know the truth for yourself. It's one of those things that, like I said, once you know, you can never forget. Like, you can't unknow it. So you know the truth for yourself, and you are being called to like hold that for yourself until it's time. That's the sun. It's like you're in position. I feel like my words, especially when it comes to the Terminator story, it sounds so big and so huge and so momentous. But sometimes your job is just to flip the switch and then boom. Like, I feel like we underestimate the power of each of us doing the thing that we are meant to do. Like, it's just like those dominoes. Everybody falls in line. Everybody does the thing. But your thing doesn't have to be like Sarah Connor teaching their son how to make bombs and teaching him how to drive cars evasively. It doesn't have to be that kind of stuff. Yours can be showing up for the kids that are around you. Yours thing can be showing up for yourself. It can be being the bright light in the office when it's a real sad time. People getting laid off. People are not well. I don't know. It could be you just speaking your truth and telling your story. Like, there's so many things. Like, everybody has their own part to play. And I feel like I don't know if you're underestimating your part or what, but like make sure you're playing your part. You have a journey to go on. So I also pulled some cards of advice because I'm like, this is a lot. Let's get deeper. Let's understand what it is what do we need to like really be doing? We got the Seven of Swords, Judgment, Two of Wands, Eight of Swords, and the Magician. Oof, love it, love it, love it. Seven of Swords. We start over here. This is so funny. I was just talking about how people knew stuff I didn't know, and I didn't appreciate it. Like I'm kind of feeling that same type of energy here when I look at the Seven of Swords. But I feel like this is like the energy of the things that you don't know. You can call that like the opposition. The stuff you know, stuff you don't know. This is kind of like highlighting like, hey, you didn't know this kind of stuff. But because you decided to go on this journey, you learned it. This Judgment card, you cannot see it because there's a bit of nudity I had to cover up, but these are people in caskets. They're coming out of the caskets and coming back up. This even reminds me of like lost knowledge. Basically stuff that you couldn't... Ooh, I'm thinking about stuff in your past. Has anybody had repressed memory? I'm thinking of even that kind of stuff like coming back up. It's like things that you cannot find in a book, but you might even have to experience. There's so many things in my life that I didn't understand. Like people told me straight up, but I didn't understand it until I experienced it. And I really feel like for you, this is what the advice is. It's not saying you have to experience it to know, but it's like maybe back then it wasn't time for you to know yet. But now that you have experienced it and understood it, that's when the knowledge came to you. And now you can start incorporating it into what you're doing now. You can take that knowledge now. Like you've been primed. The vessel is ready to receive that knowledge. Then we got Two of Wands. I was talking about moving on, moving forward, needing to like find somewhere new to place your knowledge. Not even to place it, but to find a place in which you could exist with the knowledge that you have. And I feel like this is the energy, that Two of Wands, just wanting to... It's like seeking something better, seeking a better place, seeking something... Even getting the energy of because she's holding this, is like planting your flag. Somewhere that you can be like, this is where I can like really and truly start being myself. I can really and truly start sharing what I need to share. I don't know what it is that you need to do, but like needing to go and find that place where you can do and be and share and whatever it is that you need to do. But then we got this Eight of Swords energy. It's a bit scary because there's some things too, like I was saying, it's like you're trying, but you don't know quite. There's a lot that you don't know. It's like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I don't need. I don't know. Like, if we think again about the elimination diet. It's like, okay, what is causing my stomach to hurt? What is causing me to bloat? What is causing me to gain weight, lose weight, to not feel well? Needing to do some trial and error and figuring that out. And these swords to me remind me of all the things that you don't quite know. You can figure out the answer to them though, and that is what this advice is saying. It's like, yes, there's a lot of unknown, but you have the power to figure out the answer. This lady, she looks like she's trapped, but she's not. She's not trapped. She can move. She can move. She can take these ropes off. Like, they are not tight. They're not covering her legs. Yes, she has a blindfold on, but I feel like if she, you can't see my face, but if she lifts her eyebrows, she can get that thing off. So it's like, yes, it may feel constricted, but that is not the case. You can figure out the answer to these things. It's like once you've gone on this journey, like once you've had this epiphany, like there's some things that are not quite right. I got to go and discover these things. There's some things that are not quite true that have been told to me, but no, I know what the truth is. I'm going to have to like go even within myself to find the truth. I'm going to have to go and experience some things I never experienced to find the truth. I'm going to have to go and find a place in which people tell the truth. Like even that. Even like going and being somewhere that is completely different than where you've ever been, so that you can learn something that you've never learned. Another culture, even something that is more like, think of like a really repressed culture that doesn't even talk openly about like how babies are made. People out here having kids and they don't even understand how they got them, you know, that kind of energy. but going somewhere where things are talked about, you can understand, like, oh, reproductive system, this is eggs and sperm, like, let's talk about the basics here. Going somewhere that you can learn the truth, doing that and understanding, yes, it might be a little bit of obstacles, it might not be just given to me, I might have to actually do my own homework. I'm gonna have to, take some notes and synthesize them, coming up with some conclusions. I need to analyze, like, you might have to do some real work in doing it. But you going through that process is what's going to turn you into this magician. It's going to turn you into somebody who cannot just be sitting there lying into their face. Like, no, I know the truth. I've been on the journey. I understand. I understand who you are, the person who is trying to tell me some things that are not true. I understand why you're doing that. I understand so many things because, look, I have peeped the scene. The real one, it's not even too mean. I just didn't understand it. That's all. But now that I get it, I understand. I don't have to judge it. I just understand this is it. This is what's going on. And right now, like, I just really get the end. When I was thinking about the solar eclipse, I don't know why I was thinking illumination, because it's an eclipse. Why would I think illumination? But I just do. So maybe right now with this solar eclipse, we're going to be seeing some truths or remembering some things, or like understanding the way things work or whatever. Like, it might be just like a glimpse behind the veil that we get. And it's going to help us as we continue on towards, like, forward in this journey. So if you ever felt this way, or if you're feeling this way right now of like, why am I even doing this? Why is this coming up for me? Like, blah, 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 blah. The journey is there for a reason. It's for you to become tough like Sarah Connor did. Like, she literally, her freedom was taken from her, but she still didn't waver on her beliefs because she knew. She already knew it. She had seen it for herself, and she knew and she understood, and she did not allow anybody to test her or try her when it came to that. She was like, oh, y'all you're going to meet your end, but I'm going to be ready because I got ready and I'm going to stay ready. I remember in her cell, she was doing sit-ups and stuff. Like, she was like, I'm not going to let y'all, have me sitting here wasting away because you don't believe. I'm going to prepare myself and be ready. And when it's time to go, I'm going to go. Anyway, I hope that resonates with you in some kind of way. It's very exciting energy, at least to me, because I have been here. I feel like I'm here. I go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all the time. Especially when I discover something new. It's like, oh, okay, let's go take the journey again. So this is exciting, and I will see you guys in the next reading.